And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
Hardship. My grandmother would go through it every month to pay her insurance bill. First, she would handwrite a paper check, in cursive. Then, using her own tongue, she would wet a stamp for an envelope. Today, however, we need not weary our hands and tongues. Today, we can pay our Geico bill with the Geico app. Away with hardship, in with bill pay on the Geico app. Thank you.
Hi.
Goldilocks Productions presents the Living in Partnership with Spirit show with Ingrid Turner. Ingrid is a spiritual medium, a spiritual coach, and diviner. She connects with loved ones, spirit guides, spiritual energies, and the higher self to help her clients heal, connect with their authentic spiritual path, and live in their power. This 1-hour show will give listeners the opportunity to call in and ask a question from Spirit, get spiritual guidance, or to ask questions of the special guest. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. The call-in number for this show is 657-383-1895. Enjoy this healing and powerful show.
Hi, welcome to the Living in Partnership with Spirit show. I'm Ingrid Turner. As you just heard, I am your host. I am thrilled to be here with you today. So let's talk a little bit about what this show is all about. Living in Partnership with Spirit, I get a chance to share the spiritual energies forecast for the week with you. And then I dive into in-depth topics on anything related to spirit or partnership with spirit. And that spans a whole bunch of stuff that we can cover. So each week I pick a topic under the general theme of living in partnership with spirit, and that's what we dive into. So I want to make something really clear to anybody listening to this show. There's really no special reason why I receive the messages that I share with you from Divine Spirit, except that I'm open to it and I'm fiercely committed to living this enlightenment lifestyle. So that doesn't make me any better or any worse than anyone else. I'm just open and I'm into it, and I'm profoundly grateful to find myself in this position in life where I'm able to receive with clarity and then share my experience of these messages with you. So thank you so much for being present with me, for allowing me to share Spirit's wisdom and advice with you. And your job is really easy. Listen to what comes through, hold on to what resonates deeply with you, and let the rest go. I don't prescribe a dogma for you. I share what I get, and I share it in the clearest way that I know how. So if you like to work with me one-on-one, you can book time with me or book a reading with me on my website at ingridhturner.com. That's INGRIDHTURNER.com. So I offer a whole bunch of different ways to Spirit for you. I want to fit into as many needs and budgets as I can. So check it out. My services start at $25. That's ingridhturner.com, INGRIDHTURNER.com. So you can also connect through our Facebook group. It's called Living in Partnership with Spirit, so it's the same name as this show. So just plug that into Facebook search and it'll pop right up for you. And I'd love to start today with, for anybody new listening, a definition of living in partnership with spirit. So you can come up with your own definition and what it means to you. But for me, living in partnership with spirit means to commune with the divine, live from that place of feeling and intuition first. So for me, that shows up as living with less anxiety and living with more certainty. And really, living in partnership with spirit for me means living my highest purpose in this body on this planet. So as I said before, this show explores different themes, different topics, different paths to living in partnership with spirit. And we dive into the many ways by which we communicate, we work with spirit in our daily lives. Okay, so that all being said, let me start with the spiritual energies forecast for the week. So I'm looking at today, Tuesday, through the weekend and into next Monday. And I have to say, this week is amazing for really understanding what it is you want, reaching for that dream, and then tuning in and allowing the ways to make that concrete be shown to you, the ways to make that concrete in the world. You know, dreaming is one thing, making it happen is another thing. And right now what I'm feeling is a really good time for you to reach up high into the sky, reach up high for your dreams, and then bring those down to earth and make them real and make them solid. And all week it's good. So the way for you to do this is to assess every time you're about to do something new, or step into a role or complete a task. Is this what makes me happy? Does this make my life a happy life? If the answer is yes, keep moving forward. If it's not, if the answer is no, reevaluate. I don't necessarily mean don't do anything you don't want to do this week. We all have to do things we don't want to do. But if you're consistently finding yourself completing tasks and doing projects and running into things that don't make you a happy life and don't make for a happy life, and getting through it, or you're doing it because you feel like you have to, or someone expects you to do it, that's when you get to pause and reevaluate and reach for something higher, reach for something better, reach for something that will really reach for a lifestyle, a feeling that is going to make you happy. This is when we start to change. This is an opportunity this week to start to change our lives, to start to really build and cement the life we really want to live, what is really going to make us happy. Does that mean that we never have to do tasks we don't want to do ever again? No. But if a task is getting you where you need to go on your happy life, that's very different than consistently having to feeling like you have to and do things you don't want to do because it's your job, or somebody else told you to, or you feel like you have to, or that's just life and life is miserable. Life is not miserable. Life does not have to be unhappy. And I know this because I went from life has to be unhappy to life must be great. And you can too. And the energies are great this week for that, to really step into, whoa, what is the life of my dreams? And you can have it. You can start to make that real this week. Now, moving into the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this is an opportunity. There's more dreaming to be had here. And dreaming is really important. Daydreams are really important. Fantasizing is really important. It's a really critical piece of creating the world around us. You have to give yourself time to do it and then come out and make that physical and make that real. Go through your dreams and decide, okay, what do you want to make real? So this weekend, if at all possible, carve out some time for yourself to just sit with self, by yourself in solitude, and think and dream and wonder and go get fantastical about it. This is your imaginary world. This is your dream. This is your fantasy. Go all out, balls to the wall. Enjoy the heck out of it. And then coming into next week, as you kind of get back into work mode and get back into, okay, we're in the world, you're going to have an even better understanding from the week before, reaching for that dream life, for what will make you happy, and then allowing yourself to dream some more, and really coming through, leading into next week with some concrete objectives, things in the world that you know you can do to start to make this a reality. All right, so that's an awesome week ahead. Enjoy those energies, work with those energies. Remember, the energies are just energies. We choose how we work with these energies. So do yourself a favor, choose this way. Choose to reach for what is amazing for you, what means an amazing life, an amazing style of living, an amazing you. Reach for that because it's way accessible this week, way accessible. Okay, so this week, I'm going to dive into our next segment, and I'm just going to talk to you for a while. And I'm going to talk to you about ego, right? Big, scary word for a lot of us. Oh, my ego. So after this segment where I talk about ego and our spirituality, I will be taking calls. So you can call in with a question about the topic, and I really hope you do. If you're listening to this, I hope you call in and you ask me questions. It's what I'm here for, and I'm thrilled and happy to answer your questions. I want to answer your questions. I can't cover everything, so your questions really help broaden the conversation and bring more substance to the topic, more substance to the table. You can also call in and get a mini reading if you so desire. The number to call in is 657-383-1895, and then you'll press 1 to get on the show. So once again, it's 657-383-1895, and you'll press 1 to get on the show. Okay, let's talk about ego. So ego and spirituality on the surface appear to be opposites, opposite extreme ends. You know, you can't be spiritual and have ego, or you can't have ego and be spiritual. So this begs the question, does this mean ego is a bad thing? Is it bad? What do we do with our ego? Do we smash our ego? Do we try and get rid of our ego? What do we do? How do we reconcile our spiritual life and our ego, especially if you're out there as a teacher, in a teacher role, or as a reader, you know, a spiritual reader, spiritual medium, or any kind of spiritual leadership role, a healer? The ego can be a very scary thing because we've seen it. We've seen ego go awry. We've seen the most obvious symptoms of it in other people, and it terrifies us. I'll tell you what else terrifies us is the thought of someone else judging us for our ego. And guess what that is? Yep, it's ego. I know, it's a slippery thing, it is. So is ego bad? And I'm going to go out here and say no. No, ego is not bad. Can it serve you? Yes. Can it hinder you? Absolutely. Ego, like everything else in this physical world, is a piece of your divine nature. So what the heck is ego for? What does it do for you? We know how we're very, very clear on how it can take us down. And I'll get more into this because it's more sneaky than that. You know, it's a trick thing, ego is. But ego is also, it's what gets you out there. You as a healer, you as a teacher, you would not be out in the world stepping up and speaking and talking and sharing everything, the incredibly valuable information you have to offer without your ego driving you to do that. Ego is what gets you out of bed in the morning. Ego gives you drive. God, the divine, put ego inside you so that you would get your butt out of meditation and into the world doing your life purpose work, okay? Living your destiny. This is what before. Ego is a driving force, and that is how it serves you. It drives you to get out there. Now, how does it hinder you? Okay, we've seen this. We've seen the bravado, the chest thumping, I'm so great, look at me. The blinding ego, how ego has blinded people, has blinded us on our journey. And it's scary because other people see it, and when you're in ego, it's very hard for you to see it. So that's ego gone awry. That's how it hinders us, and it keeps you very, very small. The ego is also a protector. You know, the ego helps us stay out of situations that are not good for us by telling us, you're better than that. And it tells us the truth until it lies to us, until it keeps us small in other weird ways, either by being over the top, I'm already good enough, I don't need to learn more, I don't need more, because I'm already great. That's ego's way of keeping us small. But you know how else it shows up that's really, really sneaky and more socially acceptable, especially in our spiritual world? This is how it shows up. Humility, humble, self-deprecation. So it's pushing off honors of who you are onto other people. So that's a really, really sneaky way that ego can show up and come around and bite you and take control of your life. And again, keep you small. So it's a balance. Like everything else, it's a balance. Ego is
Hello, everyone. This is the show producer. Please bear with us. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Ingrid had dropped. I do believe she's calling back in. So just hold on one moment and give her a chance to call back in. Boy, we're really at the end here of Mercury retrograde. I love it, though. You get a lot of spiritual work done. But okay, so here we go. I do believe she's back now. So welcome back, Ingrid.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, Tiffany, covering for me there. Yep, it just booted me off. I don't know. Okay. Where was I? Ego. Okay. It's a scary topic. It's like, oh, no, we don't want to talk about this anymore. So we were talking about ego gone awry, how it can show up for you, and how, you know, how it can be trickery. It can trick you. It blinds us. So I was talking about ego is the center of the teeter-totter. It's the balance. We have to keep that balance. We have to allow our ego to operate in this divinity by getting out there, keeping us safe from that which does not serve us, and at the same time, trying to be aware of when that balance can get out of whack and ego comes along and hinders us. And there are so many different ways that can happen, and you just simply have to be aware. So I want to say that it's really important to understand that all of us will get out of hand with our ego. Every single one of us. There's not a human being alive who does not have the experience of ego gone awry, of ego coming and taking over and kicking our butt and keeping us small and having us behave in very strange ways. And here's how you can tell when you're in ego, because you're in ego pain. It is always pain. Whether you're up there going, I'm so great, I'm so great, I'm so great, underneath that is the ego pain, the rejection, the fear. And you know what it feels like? I stole this from my mother, actually. She described this to me the other day, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. She said it's the toddler having a tantrum. And we as grown-ups, we cover up that ego tantrum with a shiny veneer, in underhanded ways, whether we're so great or, oh, no, it's not me, it's whatever. We cover that up in more sophisticated ways. But underneath that, when you're in ego pain, you're having little tantrums inside. And that can be hard to look at. That can be hard for all of us to turn around and go, okay, my ego's out of control. And then we have to sit back and peel back what's really going on there so that we can get to the truth of it. Ego, when it's in shadow, it doesn't want you to see what's really going on. It wants to protect you. But you know what? It's like a helicopter parent. You can't be protected from everything. And the truth will set you free. So it's so important to respect your ego. Remember that your ego is as much a part of your divinity as anything else. It's here to serve you, and it hinders you too, like almost everything else on this planet, in this existence, in the divine. There's dark and there's light, there's shadow, light, and ego is a part of that. So the reason I want to talk about ego today really is because in the spiritual world, we tend to use it as a club to beat each other with. And it's so funny because the minute you turn around and accuse somebody else of being an ego, guess what? It's projection. You're in your own ego space. Because when we're not in ego, when we're feeling balanced, we can see without judgment when somebody else is struggling with that balance. And it doesn't have to be an accusation. It doesn't have to be you're in ego. You're in ego space. Your ego is out of control. Whoa. No. Maybe it is, but that's just the human struggle. It's the divine struggle. It's the struggle. I don't know if I like the word struggle, but it's the process. I think I like the process. It's the process for all people, and it's especially a process for people doing spiritual work, for people out there in spiritual leadership roles or even spiritual seekers. So I would say to you, the advice I would give to you about your ego is please don't fear the ego, respect the ego. Thank the ego even for the time, for every day when it gets you out of bed and on your path and gets you seeking and looking and learning and out there doing God's work. Thank your ego for that. And even thank your ego when it gets completely out of control. Because right then, when your ego goes awry, it shows you so much more than it could ever in balance. The contrast that it gives you is incredible. And I think everybody, when you reflect back on times when you've been in ego, everybody understands, yes, that's true. We get more out of our failures than we ever do out of our successes. But the ego, it is what it is. And it can come around and bite us and take control and show up and help us and protect us to do good work, to do the good work, to get out there and in partnership with Spirit. I'm reminded of a story that I heard recently. It's a story about Shiva, the Hindu god. And I believe his wife's name was Parvati. I don't know. I don't remember. But Shiva lost his wife. She died. The god Shiva. He lost his wife. And in his grief, he went into meditation. He went into stillness, into such stillness that the world stopped spinning. Things stopped happening in the world. And it was because he had no desire. So all he did was sit in stillness. He had lost his, he had stepped out of his ego. So the whole world stopped functioning. And the other gods were trying to get his attention and get him up and out and moving towards something. So what they did is they sent one of the gods in the form of a beautiful woman And it finally got his attention, got him up and moving and chasing after this beautiful woman because he was lust after her. And so then the world started spinning again and things started moving. So the truth is that the desire, which is what feeds the ego, the desire is what keeps the world moving. Without desire, nothing happens. There is no movement. And here in this physical existence, it's all about movement. There's no true stillness. We search for that stillness. We take breaks in that stillness, but it's not for us to stay in that stillness. It's for us to get out and get moving. And the ego is what plays a role in that. Okay, so at this time, I would love to accept people to call in with your questions. If you have questions about the ego and spirituality, I am eager to answer those questions to the best of my ability. And if you would like to call in for a mini reading, you can do that as well. The number is 657-383-1895, and you'll press 1 to get on the show. Alrighty, so looks like I don't see any callers on today. Okay, well, that's good. Short and sweet then. So, ego, if you have, oh, no, I'm sorry. We do have a caller. Excellent. Okay, area code 520. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm glad you saw me. I go, hey, what about me?
Hi, I'm here. What's your name?
Oh, my name's Christina.
Hi, Christina.
Hi.
Sorry about that. Almost missed you, but I got you. So, what can I help you with today?
I was just wanted to know if you see anything in career and work.
Okay. Leaning in for you. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really distracted by this big angel that is on your on your left side. So is it okay if I just tune into that, because that's hammering me right now, and then we can get into the career? You good with that?
Yeah, and if you don't get into the career, that's all right. I'll take anything that.
Okay.
If that's what they want, right, so that's what I need.
All right, this is what I've got. So it's the color is sort of an off-white color, and I'm leaning into. I see wings. Okay, it's not exactly an angel. It's an angel-like being, but it's not an angel. It's smaller than an angel. I see angels as very, very big and tall. This is a smaller being, but very much sort of that ilk. There's a goodness and a quality to it. But I see a masculine being. He's got wings. He's got no hair. He's absolutely hairless. So he's completely bald, and he's absolutely beautiful. And I don't mean that in like a hot guy kind of a way. I just mean he's radiating beauty. Let me see what he's got.
What side is he on?
He's on your left side. My right, so your left.
Okay.
Because I'm sort of seeing you sitting. That's my understanding. So he's on your left side. So that's the receiving side of the body. That's what you're receiving. And what I'm getting is, okay, so this is great even for career, because I'm getting beauty in your career. If you have any interest in design or any way to make beauty a part of your career, aesthetic beauty, this is what this being is intimating to me, is there's incredible aesthetic beauty inside of you and ways for you to put that out into the world. And if that's not what you're doing right now, you would be so happy if you could find a way to tie that into your career. That's what I'm getting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm sure it will.
You're like, how do I fit that into what I'm doing? Okay, let me see. Let me dive in a little bit more. Let me see what I've got. So you can start with things like, oh, that's not quite. Hang on. Let me see what he's giving me here. Oh God, I'm feeling it in the heart. So this is in career, honey. This is more about your essence, your destiny, kind of what you're here for. And really what you're here for is to create beauty in the world, to create beauty in your environment and an environment in other people. I see lots of colors. I see shiny surfaces for some reason, like a lot shiny and clean. And I feel very sort of modern and almost like a blocky style. If that kind of makes sense, it's like, it's a little bit hard for me to describe, but I'm seeing a lot of reds and blues and just, I really think you would be amazing at something like interior design, like taking a room and transforming it into something fabulous for somebody. That's what it feels like to me. So what he's really getting at is that he's pushing aside the career and saying, this is your essence. This is what you're here to do. And you get to put that in whatever package you want, but start noticing where you can create something of beauty in your environment. and start that, because that'll help activate that energy, bring that energy into your life to start making that more and more a part of your life. And I'm feeling the heart again. So I'm feeling sort of, even as I'm saying that to you, I'm feeling your heart almost tighten up a little bit, sort of like get a little bit like almost like a kind of a rock inside my chest. So check in to what's the resistance there to what I'm saying when it comes to creating a beautiful environment, beauty in your life, because that's what he's telling me is like this right here is where you shine.
Well, I love plants. So I have plants all over in my home. I have a little palette garden outside, and I got plants. I got lots of plants. I don't even know how many. And I have them outside, inside, everywhere. So I know I try to make my own compost. So I recycle all my tea bags and coffee grounds and stuff like that. So I try to get back to the environment, and I try to make everything pretty. So I do try to do that.
Well, really focus on the aesthetics of your environment. Focus on the beauty in your home, really like arranging furniture, putting up things that, are beautiful on the walls, that kind of thing. That's what I'm getting is like that's the energy that's really coming through very, very strongly for you.
And is he my angel, or is he somebody that passed over? Or?
He's a guide for you, is what I'm feeling. I do not feel like this person was in a body. This feels like a guide energy for you.
Okay. That is
okay.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Christine. You have a great day.
You have a blessed day, too. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, good. We got a couple more callers while we were talking to Christine. So area code 209, you're next.
Hi, Ingrid. This is Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Hi.
How you doing?
I feel like I'm surfing. It feels okay.
You feel
right
like
now.
You're surfing? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Which is a form of going with the flow.
I like it. It's more exciting.
Yeah. It is exciting because, I tuned in and you're talking about like this week being significant in terms of, certain things, and I'm applying to a couple of schools this week. So my life might be about to change in a wild way. So this isn't a question about ego. It's like a mini reading type question.
Okay. Go ahead.
How do you feel that the outcome is going to be positive, and how will career and spirit path relate to each other? Is there a way to get them in line?
Oh my gosh. Brian, you're the writer on Facebook, right? The poet?
Yeah, I'm actually,
yeah.
It's interesting you say that because my phone is sitting on my poetry that I'm working on. I'm working on a chapbook, and my phone is on it right now. And your phone number for living in partnership with spirit is right above one of my poems.
Okay.
I am. I'm the writer,
Yeah, I'm just making sure that that's you. Okay, good. This is the Brian.
I
Brian,
can give you my last name if you wanted. Yeah.
No. It's okay. I know who you are.
Yeah.
No, you are. These are absolutely lining up. These are absolutely lining up for you. Keep following that creativity, that poetry, that flowing. Poetry is a form of channeling. It's playing with the words. It's making spirit out of words. So keep working with that energy. And you're going to have to let go of some of your expectations around it. And I'm feeling this particularly around school. School can be fun. You can do it. It's like there's nothing wrong with that. But I need you to know that it's not necessary for where you're headed and for pulling all of these things together. Okay.
That's interesting.
So let go of the need for that to be in the mix. If it's in the mix, that's great, is what I'm getting. But if it's not, that's great, is what I'm getting. There's just it's all coming together.
It's a win-win. Sounds like a win-win.
Absolutely.
Whether or not I go
it's
to
a
these
win-win.
schools. Yeah, the schools.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm not sure how, what I want to do, how it lines up with my spirit path. I'm honestly, I know what my spirit path is, but it is just, it's being neglected right now in my life because I have to work on material stuff like the ego, getting yourself out of the bed every morning. I have trouble sometimes getting out of bed in the morning. And I don't know where I was going with that. I feel like I'm rambling. Sorry about that. I lost my train of thought completely.
Okay.
But yeah, so
it's all coming together. I feel like it's all tying together. And with having a hard time getting out of the bed in the morning, that's hard. And I'm sorry that you're going through that. But I really feel like your writing is going to keep helping you. Kind of get up, rise up. And remember too, when you're dealing with all sides of the whole human emotional spectrum too, and that right there also lends itself to your poetry and lends itself to your creativity. So keep following that creative spark. Keep following that creativity.
Okay. Yeah, that's
all
really
right. And
interesting you say that. Yeah.
The money will come.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ingrid.
You're so welcome, Brian. You have a great day.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Bye. All right. Area code 917. How you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear you, 917. You sound really, really far away. Not hearing you at all now. Okay, looks like you dropped off. So 917 is listening. Feel free to go to my website and shoot me a message on the contact form there, and I'll be happy to answer your question for you. Okay? All right. So that's it for callers. That's what we have for the show today. Thank you so much for calling in, for listening, and for calling in with your questions. I love answering your questions for you. Actually, I love all of it, every piece of it. So that's all we've got. Thank you so much. And I want to thank my producer, Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman of Goldilocks Productions. So without her, this show would not be possible. Goldilocks Productions hosts a number of spiritual-based shows, and you can find them find the archive hosted on Spreaker.com/Goldilocks Productions. So that's SPREAKER.com/Goldilocks with a Y. GOLDYLOCKS Productions, Goldilocks Productions. So give us a follow, explore all the fantastic content that Goldilocks Productions produces, and please do share what feeds you. And again, if you want to get in touch with me personally, you can visit my website at ingridhturner.com. That's INGRIDHTURNER.com. You can learn more about me on that site, book some time with me. Our next show is May 9th, and we're going to dive into life purpose stuff on that show. So don't miss it, okay? I want to talk to you about what the heck is your life purpose and what the heck do you do with it, okay? So thanks again for joining me. I'm so looking forward to diving in again next week. So much love.
Calling all parents. Get up to 50% off all of Old Navy's amazing kids and baby styles right now. Hurry in for $2 flip-flops, $4 tees and tanks, $6 graphic tees, and $8 dresses and boy shorts at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. High fashion, Old Navy. Valid 5/1 to 5/9.
Why did we do it? Why did Little Caesars put 4 delicious deep dish slices of our pepperoni Italian sausage and bacon-covered 3-meat treat next to 4 slices of our deep dish pepperoni and offer these 2 pizzas for $9? Because we can. The new hot and ready deep dish half and half pizza. $9 only at Little Caesars. At participating locations plus tax.
Pizza.